I want to talk about issue spotting. When it comes to the teams that you lead, how do you know there's an issue? Whether there's an employee satisfaction concern, whether they're feeling like they're supported or equipped to do the job that they're being asked to do. Unless you've taken the time to actually get out from behind the desk and get to know them. I find that organizations of all sizes, whether it be a school district, corporate environment, nonprofit, even public boards, there is a leader that is in place for a reason. They are the conduit of, corralling the troops, if you will. And a lot of times these people get put up on lofty perches, and you might be one of those people that you were tapped for your genius to lead, inspire, and motivate, give direction, and, carry the torch forward. But at the end of the day, let's face it, you depend on other people for your success. And you require very specifically the actions of others in order to execute on the work that you've been asked to do. And it's really important for you to have a clear and concise understanding of what might be inhibiting the progress and the potential of the people you lead. So I call this thing issue spotting, and there's a variety of ways that we could talk about this. In fact, very specific ways that I could roll this out in a wide variety of organizations to say these are the things that you want to be looking for. But really on a broader scale, it comes down to your interaction, your engagement, and how good a connection or relationship you have with the people that you serve. And I use that very directly. As a leader, you are there to serve. You're serving the people that are helping execute on the mission, the product, the service, the deliverable. Whether you're an educator, whether you're a corporate CEO, whether you're a nonprofit, you have a function. The entity has a function to deliver. And therefore, you are responsible for the people to do that. And so you have to be involved. You have to be engaged. And you have to be an active participant in what's going on in their day-to-day, which means that you have to be building constantly connections and relationships within your organization, because these are the only ways that you'll actually get a pulse of what's going on. And that's step one to issue spotting. When you see there's dissension, when you see balls being dropped, when deadlines aren't being met, when you see a general look of apathy, or maybe, a general disconnect or enjoyment about being in the environment, the work that's being done. You can see this when you are familiar with your people. You can feel the pulse. And when you feel the pulse is starting to diminish or starting to get a little thready, you don't have to immediately go get the CPR machine and go try and revive. You have to start figuring out what are the issues. Where are things off track? What is going on? Why are people struggling? And you get there by having good connections and relationships with your people, to ask those questions, to have the trust that the answers that you're going to be given are truthful, they're accurate, and in a lot of ways, and this is hard for a lot of leaders, they're unfiltered. There's no fear from your people to give you what is really up. And that is important, because you don't want it sanitized just because you don't want feelings hurt, because you don't want somebody criticizing. You don't want to, have people feel that there might be repercussions for raising the red flag. This is super important, and issue spotting is one of the critical elements of a leader, to go in and see where are we potentially running into problems and what can we do to get out ahead of those problems so that small problems don't become big problems. And I believe, and I tend to look at everything through the same lens. I know you might get tired of hearing it from me, but everything ends up being a people problem in the end. And a lot of times it comes down to we're not putting enough emphasis on providing the connection, making people feel excited and motivated about the work that they're doing, the mission we've set in front of them. There's not clear lines of expectations, which means people are left to come up with things on their own and do things the way they think they should. And no offense to them, but sometimes that's not in the best interest of the organization. So being able to understand when you're making and hitting some of these speed bumps, how to make some of these course corrections along the way, one of the first places to start to get those issues spotted is to have good, authentic conversation with your people. And it is one of the most important and most valuable things that you can do as a leader. And it's critical, no matter what size organization you're running. You've got to get out from behind the desk. You got to start having conversations. You got to have continual engagement. And you got to build an environment where people are not afraid to tell you like it is. Because they will on the way out, no problem. But it's when they're still there and you're investing in them because you believe in them and you saw something in them that they are a resource. Why would you ever want to let that walk out the back door? Wouldn't. So get good at issue spotting. Get good at connecting with your people so that you can spot those issues. And it's not a one-time, once a quarter, once a year kind of thing. It's an everyday, all the time, constantly looking for small issues that we don't want to bubble up into big issues that could impact all sorts of areas within the business or the operation, and trying to resolve them as quickly and as efficiently as you can. And my guess is if you're doing a good job and people see it and they see that you're taking action, well, you're reinforcing why they want to spend their waking hours at that company or with that school district, in that university system, in that municipality, in that nonprofit, because they want to do the work that their leader is inspiring them to do. So, issue spotting, I highly recommend it. I highly recommend you get out and go look for them because they're there. I promise you. It doesn't matter how great your organization is, how awesome you think your leadership is. There are inevitably issues that you need to be aware of, and you need to be putting some thought and effort towards resolving. And it starts with you getting out there to talk to your people. Until next time, my friends, take care, ripple on.